Live from the heart of America, I'm Steve Gruber, ready to fight for you from the foxhole of freedom, giving you better analysis and insight than anyone else, shining a spotlight into the darkness of the political media industrial complex, and, well, delivering the relentless pursuit of truth. Good to have you here. Here are three big things you need to know to start your day. Number one, former President Donald Trump got one win in his column. His 1 year's long investigation is closed. No indictments, no charges filed. Number two, the clock is winding down until the Director of National Intelligence admits that I was right, along with a few others, from day one that COVID came from a Chinese lab. And number three, the arrogance of the Biden administration really is something to behold. Despite voluminous failures that include the economy, the border, foreign policy, COVID, China, and Ukraine. And that's not even getting started on the expanding bribery and money laundering scandal engulfing the president and numerous members of his family. We'll get to that today, too. By the way, it's Juneteenth. But let's just absorb some of the hubris that's oozing out every day and is never challenged by mainstream media, never. How about Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre explaining quite clearly it is an historic administration and she is an historic figure? Just ask her. She'll tell you so. Listen.
A year in this role, there's been a couple of things that has made me incredibly proud. Many things have made me incredibly proud to be at that podium during this historic moment. Again, this is a historic administration. I'm a historic figure, and I certainly walk in history every day. But this is also a historic making administration because of this president.
Look at me. I'm a historic person. Yeah, okay, KJP. Wow, she's right. She's right. She is very historic. The presidency is historic, but not for the things she seems to think. It is historically incompetent and historically weak. And KJP is a historic figure. She's right about that, too, because she is, without question, the worst press secretary of my life, historically speaking. The very worst in the television era. I mean to say she is awful is an understatement of enormous magnitude. Of course, she's just representing the man at the top. And when it's this bad, well, let's be honest. It must be pretty hard to do your job as press secretary when you've got this buffoon up there, completely clueless Joe Biden, outlining a plan to build a railroad across the Indian Ocean. Here it is.
Well, we're going to win and we're going to help. We have plans to build a railroad from the Pacific all the way across the Indian Ocean. We have plans to build in Angola, one of the largest solar plants in the world. I can go on, but I'm not. I'm going off script. I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah, you're going to get in trouble because you have no idea what you're talking about. And you have to ask yourself, what the hell is he talking about right there? Building railroads across oceans? What, Joey, are they powered by fairy dust and unicorns too? The magic Amtrak train that'll carry you 1 billion miles? I mean, maybe we could just run a couple of rail lines to the moon too, so we don't have to waste all that time and money on rockets and stuff. Huh, Joey? Here are your crayons, buddy. You're a big boy. And whether it's some screwball comment like that or some far-fetched claim as to how wonderful he's done in the job, Joe Biden is almost sure to disappoint all of us, all the time. Bald-faced lying is part of the plan. Joe Biden continues to lie about cutting the debt. In truth, he just signed a deal to increase American debt by at least $4 trillion. $4 trillion. Listen.
We literally cut the federal debt in half by $1.4 trillion. In my first 2 years, I reduced the debt by $1.7 trillion. We cut the debt by $1.7 billion in the last 2 years. Let me say that again. $1.7 trillion. We've lowered the federal debt. We cut the federal debt in half. The fact. In 2 years, I reduced the debt $1.7 billion. In the first 2 years of my administration, I cut the debt by $1.7 trillion. No one's ever reduced the debt that much. We cut the federal debt in half.
Did we cut it by 1.4 billion, 1.7 trillion? Did we cut it in half, Joey? Again, buddy, you're a big boy. Here are your crayons. At the end of his comments, wherever he might be, that's always when he gets a bit sideways or when he goes off prompter like he did there just a moment ago. You see, you never know what he might say. His staff is stricken with fear behind the curtain back there. Whenever he turns around to ad-lib an answer or poke fun at the press, oh boy, that's when it gets dicey for them. Usually they're just hoping, praying he doesn't do another face plant or cartwheel down the steps of Air Force One. I mean, those folks must take a lot of Pepto-Bismol and Xanax. Just trying to get through the day. Oh, don't say that. No, don't ad-lib. There's 40 billion miles on Amtrak. Yeah, okay, Joey. Joe Biden's not ever sure what's happening or where he is, especially at the end of the speech. Here's a bit of a taste from over the weekend. Listen.
All right. God save the Queen, man.
God save the Queen, man. What country are you in, Joey? Joey, where are you? Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It's just disastrous, actually. But like we just saw a moment ago, it's not just the commander-in-chief that's both arrogant and incompetent. You see, incompetence is a theme that runs throughout the whole administration. It permeates the whole place. And it also includes some poorly dressed socialists in the U.S. Senate. One comes to mind in particular, John Hoodie Fetterman. A complete embarrassment for Pennsylvania, doing remarkably well. Listen to this train wreck.
It's a pleasure to be here and to introduce my friend, Congressman Boyle Bile.
Well, thank you. I'm Congressman Brendan Boyle.
What? Wait a second. I thought you were Boyden Bile. Yeah. You know what? Just hold on. Let's back up. Let's hear that again. Yeah. Borden Bile. And here's the thing. Joe Biden shows up at an event for union members over the weekend. And John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, the alleged senator there, shows up again in baseball shorts and in a hoodie, looking like he's a homeless guy. I mean, everybody else shows up in suits and ties because it's respect for the office, respect for the president of the United States. Not this clown, no. They roll him out like he just came off a Target ad, right? Here he is again. Listen to this.
It's a pleasure to be here and to introduce my friend, Congressman Boyle Bile.
Well, thank you. I'm Congressman Brendan Boyle.
That's a little different than Borden Bile and Brendan Boyle. John Fetterman, he's doing well. Just another symptom of the disease consuming those inside the Beltway. The disease, well, incompetence. And, of course, there's hubris and arrogance. John Fetterman. Let's take the over-under on this. I don't take great pleasure, but here's the thing. John Fetterman's not going to finish his term. He's not going to finish his term. I'm not sure if Joe Biden is, but I can tell you, John Fetterman. Oh, they're made for each other, aren't they? Ah, yes. Beautiful day. Hey, by the way, like I said, it's Juneteenth. Hope you had a great Father's Day weekend. I've got more to discuss about the Biden administration and what's going on there, where ice cream cones and crayons are more important than anything else. We'll get back to that. It's the Steve Gruber Show.